There you go.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Jillian. Meanwhile, sue until it's blue. Our next guest sounding the alarm on the left's judicial power grab, as some have described it, saying it's time for Republicans to wake up and see how unelected judges are redrawing maps to help elect more Democrats. Here to explain, Scott Walker, former governor of Wisconsin and national finance chairman for the Republican Redistricting Trust. Governor, good morning to you.
Good to be with you. Although I'm kind of bummed I'm not there to play with all that fun stuff you were just doing.
It's summer camp time. Go to camp, Governor. What does sue till it's blue mean?
Well, what you've got is Eric Holder, with the support of Barack Obama, spending hundreds of millions of dollars across the nation, and they just go in from one state after the next, and they sue until it's blue. They're using the litigation process to take redistricting out of the hands of the people we elect, the people we hold accountable in our state legislative bodies, and trying to send it to the courts where they have friendly folks, many of whom have been appointed by some of their allies, and they're trying to sue to change the makeup, really, I think, for a generation to come in terms of putting Democrats in power.
All right, let's take a look at some headlines from the New York Times. Judges rule Michigan congressional districts are unconstitutionally gerrymandered. They also had Ohio congressional map is illegal gerrymander, federal court rules. Okay, so what happens is they start suing, and it's not necessarily a slam dunk that they're going to win, but it gets the ball moving, right?
Right, in the time being, right, you've got actions by the courts, and that's what they do. This is the whole strategy of the left, is to keep going till they find a friendly judge, someone who's not directly elected and accountable to the voters, and try and sue. They did it firsthand in Wisconsin. They tried to take over our Wisconsin Supreme Court. Thankfully, we fought back just about a month ago, but their strategy was last year, this year, and next year to take over the Wisconsin Supreme Court so they'd have a friendly activist majority in the Wisconsin Supreme Court. They're doing it in Ohio, as you mentioned. They're doing it in Michigan. You already look, even in last year's elections, there's about 15 seats in 4 different states where they already used the litigation process to try and make it competitive. That's at least part of the reason why Nancy Pelosi is now the speaker. They want to make her and people like her permanently in charge of the U.S. House. We can't let them do that. We've got to fight back for truly fair maps. If we've got fair maps, our ideas work. If we've got a competitive marketplace to tell our message to the American people, we can win district by district, but we can't do it if it's always stuck in the courts.
But, Governor, isn't it up to the state legislatures to figure out how to draw a district on the map?
Well, that's exactly right. That's the way most people want it. They want it with people who they elect who are accountable. What they do, though, is they go from state to state and they try and litigate. They sue, they pick a state, and then they sue until it's blue. And that's the strategy we've seen used over and over again. There's a lot of folks out there, unelected bureaucrats, these commissions they create, which are clearly partisan, where you put power in the hands of people who aren't elected. And then these judges, many of these federal judges who have lifetime appointments, right, and they love nothing more than to be activists out there. I appreciate the fact that the president tweeted about it, because I don't know that enough people understand just how significant this is. It's not just about the 2020 elections. It's about the fact that they could put in place maps across America that make it almost impossible for the next decade to win in these districts.
Right, and that's why you are the finance chairman for the National Republican Redistricting Trust. Former Governor Scott Walker, sir, thank you very much for joining us live today.
Thanks for having us on.
All right. About 10 minutes before the top of the hour,